look at my root. Oh, that is so bad. So my last and first YouTube video was about my first year experience at the University of Winchester. So if you've not watched that and you are planning on going to Winchester, then definitely give that a watch. Quite a few people messaged me on Instagram and a couple of people commented on the last video about me talking about fashion marketing as the course, and I think this video will be helpful not just if you're looking to do fashion marketing at Winchester, but you know, it might be helpful if you are looking to do it as a course anywhere. Last time I tried to like split what I wanted to talk about up into sections, and it didn't really go that great because I just waffled the whole time. So I've written a list, that's my list, of kind of what I'm going to go through and what I think would be helpful. So why I chose the course, kind of how I got there, what the modules are. So obviously I've only done my first year. So I've had 2 semesters, and then so I'll talk about the modules that I did in those semesters, and then I don't actually know what I'm doing next year. I think I do have it on an email somewhere, but it's just I don't even know. I think it's somewhere in my like uni software on the intranet or something. I'm not really sure, but I'm not sure where it is. I can kind of remember some of the topics that we're covering, so I'll kind of touch on that as well if I can remember. What the workload was like in first year for my course. Obviously I don't know what it's like for every course, but I think they're pretty similar. And then kind of what you're gonna need when you get there, because that's something that I wasn't told. I actually asked the question when I went for like my open day, like what am I gonna need? So I didn't get told that, so you know, me telling you might be quite helpful. The support in terms of the uni as a whole and the staff that obviously taught me the modules, my expectations versus reality. So you know, that's kind of the good, the bad and the ugly, but you know, we'll get there. And then how to make the most out of the course, because obviously yes, you're going, I'm back with this water bottle, obviously yes, you're going back, what am I even talking about? Obviously yes, you're going to study a degree, but there's other things at the university that if you are wanting to go into why can I literally not get my words out? If you are wanting to go into a fashion career, then these are some extra things that you can do. I don't know if obviously it's the same for every university, but if you are studying fashion at different universities like Winchester, you can look at these things if your university do that as well, and I definitely think it will help get the most out of the £9 you're paying a year. So first of all, I kind of touched on this on my last video, like how I got there, but I'll touch on it a little bit as well. Also, what I did notice, everyone says that I talk with my hands, and I've never filmed myself talking to a camera, so I didn't actually realise how much I did talk with my hands, and now watching the video back I realise I do, and I literally can't help it. So if my hands are like going everywhere, that's what I do. So why I chose the course and everything was, so I did all my GCSEs, and it kind of throughout, when I was little I always wanted to be a fashion designer, and then as I kind of like grew up and went through school, I actually realised that I was so much better at like the business side of it and like the marketing side of it than I was at just the design part. Like yes, I have such an appreciation for fashion and how they're made, etc., how clothes are made, but I definitely am more of like a business headed person. So combining those together, we get a fashion marketing course or fashion business course. I do think Winchester is bringing in a fashion business course soon, so I don't know if it's September or what. So that's kind of where I was at. And then I finished my GCSEs, and when I was looking to go to sixth form or college or whatever, I found a fashion retail course, and then it was a business course as well. So it was like a business like side ting, and then the fashion retail was like the main course. So I went to college for 2 years to do that. I absolutely loved it. And that was at Derby College, and yeah, that was just great. It was so good. It was so like creative, and you really learnt the foundations of the industry, which really helped me in university now, because there's a lot of things that I've learnt from that course that I can obviously bring in. So that just was fantastic. And then I took a year out. when I was at college, I applied to do fashion buying at London or Manchester, and then I decided that I didn't want to go anymore, so I just worked for a year. And definitely, if you're not too sure what you're doing, definitely take a year out, go travelling. Obviously you can't at the minute 'cause of Corona, but do whatever, work, travel, whatever you can do. Don't rush into it because it's a big decision, and that's something I'm really happy that I did, is take that year out and know for definite that I wanted to go. So that's what I did. And then obviously, so I was going to do fashion buying the year before, and then I realised that actually I probably didn't really want to like do fashion buying. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I kind of realised that I really enjoyed marketing through, sounds really weird, but when I was an estate agent in my gap year, I really enjoyed like the marketing aspect of like marketing the houses and what like the theories and stuff behind like why stuff works like that. It's really hard to explain. And then when I stopped working as an estate agent, I went to become like a full-time waitress, and I was really interested in the social media. I did the social media marketing for the place that I worked, and I was really interested in that. So I just realised that like marketing is where I needed to be. So didn't want to do buying anymore, wanted to do marketing, and we'll come on to a little plot twist in a minute. But yeah, so then applied for Winchester, and here I am today. Well, I'm not in Winchester now because I'm in Derby because of, like I say, Corona. So I've had to come back home. But yeah, so that's how I got there. So the modules for the course, obviously I've only done the first year, so I can only talk for the first year of the modules. So you have 2 semesters. We don't have any exam. Well, we kind of have an exam, but we don't have anything after Easter. Obviously we came back early because of Corona, but normally if it was Corona wasn't the thing, then we would have finished in, I think that was the end of March or like beginning of April, and then we would have been done for the summer. So the first semester is obviously you have your freshers week like mid-September, and then you start uni the week after, and then that runs until mid-December, and then you have a month off, and then you come back mid-January, and then you do until end of March, like I say. So both semesters are 12 weeks. So you have 12 weeks in a semester and 2 semesters in a year. And then if you have exams, so if you are doing like English and stuff, then you have your exams after Easter, but we don't have that because we're lucky, which was a really like, I could not do a course with exams. I really enjoyed that about Winchester, is it's all like coursework and like essays. Coursework, is that the right word? Essays, assignments, no exams. So that's really great. So in my first semester I had 4 modules. So everyone, I think, or at least everyone in business school has 4 modules, and our modules were business expertise, principles of fashion, e-publishing, and digital technologies and emerging something. I actually can't remember. So business expertise was all about like presenting and learning soft skills and how you can be like good in the workplace. It was very like foundation. This is how you're going to be a successful businesswoman. But it was all about like the foundations. I actually don't know how much I can say, whether the university's going to like care if I say this. I'm sure not. Anyway, I'll carry on. So it's all about like the foundations, and then you choose a topic and you write about a topic of your choice, like 1,200 words, and then you have to do like 2 other things. It's all basically about like soft skills and presenting and how to write an essay, because obviously you're going to be writing an essay for the next 3 years. So how to write an essay, how to structure it, like what to do. There's a lot of like readings about like how to write an essay, like I just said. So it's very like, it's business expertise, so you think it'd be quite businessy, but it's actually not. It's literally just like uni foundation, and I think most people in the business school do that module in first semester because it just really helps with like setting you off, because without that I wouldn't have known how to write an essay in second semester. So that's why they do that. And then there was a business emerging technologies one, which wasn't my favourite. I did quite enjoy it, but it just wasn't my fave. And that was all about like cookies and should we trust our phones and like artificial intelligence basically, which I'm already a computer nerd myself, so I was a bit iffy with it, but it was interesting, some of the stuff that we learned, and it definitely makes you like think about things now. You know, like when you're scrolling through Facebook and you've just been like, there was a time where I was talking to my friend about something I'd literally never heard of before, and then like an hour later it came up on my Facebook ads. So it was quite interesting. And then you do like a group presentation at the end and a group like report. Obviously I don't know if that's going to change or what, but we did have quite a lot of feedback for that one, so hopefully they'll change it to make it better for next year, because there was quite a few things where we were like, this could be a little bit better, but it was all right. Like, it was fine, I didn't hate it. So yeah. And then my e-publishing was all about how to use Adobe software, so Photoshop, InDesign and Illustrator if you like basically wanted to, but I had already used Photoshop and Illustrator in college, so I was pretty confident with that. But I think it is quite hard if you've not used it before, so if you can kind of like get to grips a little bit with Photoshop or InDesign, basically Adobe, before you go to uni, then that would be great. The marketing course do that as well, and I think maybe a couple of other courses do that module. So if you're doing like a marketing degree, then fashion marketing or marketing, then definitely like have a look and get yourself familiar with Photoshop and InDesign before you go, because I think it would really help. So you basically like design a poster and then you write like 2,000 words about it. I enjoyed it most, I think. So I'm gonna come on to this in a minute, but well, you have to do like feedback reports at like the middle of the module, and then at the end, I can't get my words out today. And you have to do like feedback, and I think most people, like, it was their favourite module. So it wasn't my favourite, but I definitely enjoyed it, and it's made me like more confident with using Photoshop and stuff. So that was a good one, and it's also quite creative as well, because you get to make your poster and then you do your writing as well, which was nice. And then the last one was Principles of Fashion, which is all about like the foundations of fashion, I guess, and we did a lot about like trend forecasting and like construction techniques in clothing. And I really like how it was like three modules were very marketing, and then you have one module that's just pure fashion, which I'm going to come on to in my expectations versus reality section, because that's a really good point. But basically, yeah, that's Principles of Fashion, and then that was a group presentation at the end of the semester as well. So in second semester, I then had Managing Finance, Fashion in Focus, Introduction to Media and Marketing Principles. So Managing Finance was disgusting. I got an A in GCSE maths, so I literally don't know how I could not do any of the questions. I just found it such a hard module. I just couldn't understand it. But basically how it worked is, but don't be scared, because literally like my whole class got it. It was just me being really thick and not being able to do it. And I was like literally the thickest in the class at Managing Finance. My advice for that would be to go to every single lecture and seminar, because I did not do that, and I think I would have done a lot better and understood it a lot more if I did do that. But I just kind of like knew that I hated it, so I didn't go. But that was really bad of me, so go. But yeah, how it works is you learn like stuff week 1 to 6, and then you do like an online test. But don't be scared, because you can do it at home, and you have like a week to do it. I think they open it up on like Monday morning. You have till like 5 o'clock on Friday to do it, so you'll be fine. So just, yeah, know your shit. But week 1 to 6, yeah, you do that, and then you have your test, and then week 7 to 12 you learn a new bunch of stuff, and then you have a test for that as well, and then your 2 grades from 6 and 12 get added together, and you get your final result. I think that's how it works. And then Introduction to Media also wasn't my favourite. It was all about like learning about the different kind of like job roles in marketing, like PR, stuff like that, social media, influencers, yeah, just all of that good stuff. So that was quite interesting. It was really kind of just like, I don't know, I wasn't that interested in it, but it was okay. I quite enjoyed it, but I can't really explain like what it was about, because I didn't really know, which sounds really weird because I studied it for 12 weeks. But yeah, it was basically just about like different types of like articles, like how you can repurpose articles, and like social media, is it magazine, is it online, all that stuff. And then marketing principles was one of my favorite. I really enjoyed that because it was all about like the good and the bad of marketing, and the 4 P's, if you know what that is: place, price, promotion, product. I said that in the wrong order, but and just all the like theories and concepts and all the models that they use in marketing. So I actually really enjoyed that. And then at the end you write a like 2,000 word essay on a company of your choice, and then you like discuss their marketing strategies and stuff. It's a lot more complicated than that, but I'm not going to get into it because it's just be like but I did Tiffany and I really enjoyed it, and it's made me realise that all I want to do in life is move to New York and go and work for Tiffany in their marketing department. But you know, big dreams. And then the final one was again a fashion based one, so only fashion students studied this, and it was fashion in focus, and it was all about like the history of fashion and like abandonment of corsets and men's dressing. And then at the end you get to choose to write about like basically the women's, like the history of women's fashion or the history of men's fashion. I didn't really listen to anything to do with the men's because I'm not really interested in it, and I can't really bother to explain it. But I chose the women's choice, and yeah, you basically just write about like court dressing, fashion throughout like the 20th century, and power dressing in the 1980s. And then you learn about Japanese designers and how they redefined the feminine figure. But yeah, I love that one. I kind of like went through waves. I think everyone like kind of hated it in the like first few weeks, and then they liked it again, and then they hated it, and then when I was writing the essay I loved it. So you bear with that one, but you will like it in the end. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. So yeah, and in terms of the workload, I'd say the 2 fashion ones each semester. So like I said before, you have 3 kind of modules that are marketing, skills, that kind of thing, and then you have one that is just like purely fashion. So with these 3 you have to kind of like fashionize it. So like with the marketing essay, obviously I chose Tiffany, but a lot of people chose like Pretty Little Thing. My friend chose Levi's, Polly. So you like do the research on a fashion company yourself. Obviously I didn't do a fashion company, but I just wanted to do Tiffany. So yeah, why am I like so thick with my words today? So you have like 3 ones that are like a mixture of your businessy things, and then you have 1 module that is literally just like fashion, which is actually really nice because it gives you like that break away from marketing, rather than just like everything being like so fashionized. It's like you can apply fashion to these other 3 modules, and then you have your one that's pure fashion. So I'd say the 2 fashion ones are the most hard work. Like you get a reading every week that you have to write about, and it has to be very in depth, and yeah, you'll see what I mean when you get there. But yeah, they're definitely the most in depth. But I wouldn't say that, like when I first started they were like, you're gonna have to spend 40 hours a week on work and stuff. And don't get me wrong, like the first few weeks you will literally be like trying so hard, and then it will kind of fade. But like it's so manageable. I would literally spend like, apart from obviously at the end with deadlines where I was literally in the library like all the time for like the last 2 weeks, apart from that you literally spend like a few hours a week doing work. So it's really like quite manageable. And also you have like mad breaks in between lectures and seminars each day. So we just used to like sit in this like cafe thing and just do our work. So the work is very manageable in first year, very, very manageable. And if you enjoy it, it doesn't even feel like a chore. Well, it kind of does, but you know what I mean, like if you enjoy it, it's not like when you're in school and you had to do your geography homework and you hated geography. So yeah, in terms of supplies, I went out and bought like a whole shebang, like most people probably will. You literally don't need it. Every single lecture and seminar, I took my MacBook charger, my iPhone charger, and a pencil case just in case I needed it, and I never did. I used to write my notes, like my lecture notes on paper, but then I literally just never end up reading them, and I couldn't read them because I can't read my own writing. Lol. But yeah, you literally don't need to buy like a notebook, a diary, all that. I literally just I'm not the most organised person in the world, which is something that I hate about myself, but I just think it's so much easier just to keep it all on your MacBook. Yeah, I know, like you could fucking throw it into the road, not that you're gonna do that, you could drop it, I don't know, just make sure you get insurance, but I just think it's so much easier to have everything on my MacBook. So I do all my lecture notes on the Pages in Apple. Is it Pages? I think so. And then I use my notes and like with the tick list thing in my notes to write all my like to-do list stuff, because I just think it's easier when it's all in the same place. And then I just have like folders for each module. So I definitely wouldn't really even bother buying like just loads of stuff. You don't need it. Just get a good laptop and you'll be good to go. So that's kind of it in terms of the work side of things. I'll quickly touch on the support. The support's great. Winchester's a really supportive university. Like I said in my previous video, it's very small, and if you've got any problems, just email someone to find out the right person that you need to speak to. They explain it all in like the first week anyway. But the teachers are really good as well. Like they're not like cold, horrible lecturers like I thought they were going to be. They're really nice. And with fashion being quite a small course as well, I do think you really get to know some of your lecturers really, really well. And, you know, if they like you, then they will want to do the best for you. So like I said in my other video as well, just put your hand up all the time if you're stuck on things, and just speak in seminars. Like when you're in a seminar, I personally hate awkward silences. So if we're sat in a seminar and no one's answering the question, I will just answer it even if I don't know at all what the answer is, because it shows that at least you're trying. And that is literally my biggest advice at uni. This is the big one. Like, just say something, get yourself noticed by your lecturers and seminar tutors, because like they will remember you and want to give you a reference over someone that never put their hand up and never said a word. So you really just need to like just stay in their good books and you'll be okay. That's my advice in terms of that, in terms of support. So yeah, expectations versus reality. Like I said in my previous video, I absolutely love Winchester University and the course that I'm studying. I love it so much. So really, like, it's exceeded my expectations overall. The only thing that I would say is negative is before I went to Winchester and I was going to go to London or Manchester, I thought that, well, especially Manchester, obviously London College of Fashion was a fashion college, so it was going to be very fashion. And then the Manchester Met has like a fashion institute, so it is very like, there's a lot of kind of fashion things going on, whereas in Winch it's literally fashion marketing is the only fashion course. They don't even do like textiles or anything, I don't think. And then obviously, like I said, I think they're bringing on the business course, but it is a very small kind of like community. Winchester's known for like primary ed, so there's so many people that do like education and stuff. So yeah, you have to, like I said before, you have one module each semester that is purely fashion based, and then the other ones you kind of have to fashionize yourself. I'm a student rep, and this was the one thing that I said in all of my meetings, is the lecturers need to tailor it to fashion students as well. like rather than use an example. Like I know obviously the students in the lecture rooms that are studying, I don't know, like marketing or just business, that have no interest in fashion, but like I just feel like sometimes the lecturers need to put a bit more effort into fashionize it. But then that's also really nice as well, because it does give me like a break. Sometimes I'm a bit like, oh my god, like just can't think of any more fashion. I'm just obviously I love my subject, but it is kind of nice to see things from another perspective. And I do feel like if I did go to the London College of Fashion, or I was in a fashion institute in another university, I probably would feel really overwhelmed, and I'd be like, oh. And also because it's not like a fashion uni, it's so relaxed. Like literally, when I know that if I went to Manchester or London, I would feel so much pressure to look absolutely 10 fire every day. No one cares, we're all just there to get the work done and have a great time. So literally everyone just turns up in like joggers and a t-shirt. Like you don't need to be a big like fashion blogger kind of thing that's like absolutely stunning and looks amazing every single day. So it's really like, I don't know, it depends what you're after. Like if you're after that, then obviously it's not for you, but I personally really like how it's quite relaxed. Kind of carrying on from that, a lot of second and third years have said that in first year they felt the same, that it wasn't kind of like, they felt like they were studying a business or just a marketing course, but in second and third year it does get a lot more fashiony. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully they're not lying to me, and I can get stuck into obviously the subject that I'm super passionate about. And then the kind of final thing that I've wrote down is how to get the most out of your time there. Obviously you're there to, oh, I've got pins and needles. Oh yeah, I'm wearing these pajama trousers, but they've got bleach on them because before I went to uni I used to clean toilets. Fun fact about me. And one day I was cleaning the toilets and I got bleach all over my trousers. So now they have loads of bleach on them, but you know, they're still comfy to wear to bed. I'm really getting bad pins and needles, so I'm gonna have to, there we go, that's better. So obviously you're there to study a marketing degree. My big, obviously, like I said before, the most important thing is to put your hand up, get recognised. It sounds like some people are naturally obviously better at putting their hand up and being a big personality, but you really just have got to throw yourself. I know everyone says this and you're probably like, I don't want to throw myself into stuff, but my biggest advice would obviously just be to make sure that you're in your lecturers and your seminar tutors good books, because they will help you if you show interest, basically. So really just kind of making sure that, you know, you're not arse licking, that's the wrong word, but just, you know, being passionate. And if you're not passionate about it, then you're doing the wrong course. Like this is, for me, I've always wanted to do fashion. Like I've never, obviously the whole reason why I went to uni, I have never ever considered doing another course that's not fashion. Like I've just always, it's never gone through my mind not to do anything else. Like I can't even explain it, but obviously when I was younger I used to be like, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a firefighter at like some points. But in terms of like university and degree, I've always known since I was like 10 probably, that if I ever went to uni it would be to do fashion. And that was kind of a subconscious thing. I wasn't like, I'm going to uni to do fashion, but I've just it's never crossed my mind to do anything else, which is why I am so passionate. And if you know that you're not going to be like super passionate about it, don't waste your time doing it, because it's such a competitive market that you really do have to be absolutely in love with the subject, and just, you have to live and breathe fashion. That's a bit extreme, but you just have to be really into it, and just doing that will really help you in the future. Because like some of my module leaders, some of my lecturers and tutors and things have said to me, like, you know, if you try, then I'm going to give you a reference at the end for a job. I'm not going to give someone a reference who doesn't participate, doesn't contribute, doesn't do the work, doesn't put in 110%. So that is my main advice to you. Like, I'm not like a nerd at all. I'm not like, there's people that try a lot harder at the actual like academics side of things, but I really do think I'm a full-on believer that it's not all about like grades. And you know, I'm not saying that I do really badly, but I think the reason why I don't do badly is because I actually like ask questions and put myself out there, rather than just being naturally good at writing an essay, because I'm not naturally clever. I think my skills just lie in seeing that you need to be like out there to be successful, especially like I say in a fashion career, which is so competitive, which is the whole reason why I went to uni. Like, ideally I wasn't too much of a fan on going to uni. Like, I didn't really want to, you know, leave my friends and my family at the time and get in like so much debt. The debt. So yeah, and it was hard, like going from working full-time to earning decent money to living on a student loan and earning like £6 an hour and working 10 hours a week in a pub. It's not the greatest, but I knew that if I wanted to be in this industry, I had to go and get a degree, which is why I'm there. So that's like my biggest piece of advice. My other piece of advice is Winchester do student reps, which I spoke about in my last video, so I'll just touch on it now. But if you get to uni, whether you're doing fashion or whatever, be a student rep, because you will be the voice for your cohort and years to come, and you'll get great pride out of knowing that you've helped people on your course, and like I say, the future people that come onto your course. And if you're outspoken and you want to listen to people, then it's definitely a good way to kind of like advance your skills. And just, yeah, it's not even like that hard. You just have to be a good listener, and you just have to be motivated to want things, which I am very much. I will get my own way, which is why I wanted to do it, because I know that if, you know, the cohort felt strongly enough about something, then I would be pushing for it. The other thing as well is with fashion, join the fashion society, guys. Join it. I spoke about this last semester, but I'm not being funny. I'm not coming out of uni with a fashion degree. Great, like, okay, great. Is that it? No. I was in the fashion society last year, and then we're still running it next year, and we've got so many cool ideas. I'm so excited. We're gonna make it sick. Obviously, I don't know what the situation with freshers is. If there's no freshers week, I will be fuming. But yeah, it's just a really good way to come into a society. You don't even have to do a fashion marketing to join the fashion society. Like, one of our members, he does like film, and he comes all the time. So yeah, we just love it. And it's basically just like a place where you can be with, I know this is gonna sound, I know it's gonna sound really like cringe or scary, or fashion students have this like you're intimidating persona. Like, people just think that fashion students are just horrible people, and it's not the case. Every fashion student that I've met is very pleasant. But it's kind of like, if you do like psychology, there's a lot of different kind of like people that do psychology. If you do fashion, you normally are kind of like have similar interests, and you're just quite similar people. So it is a society where everyone's obviously learning about something that they're interested in, and also just similar in the way that they are. So, you know, some weeks we'd literally just sit and chat about whatever, and then, you know, we'd go on trips, and we've got so many cool ideas. I'm not going to spoil anything because it's going to be great, and I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it's going to be really good next year. And I definitely think that it's something that I'm so glad that I did, and I couldn't imagine going to study fashion marketing at Winch and not joining the fashion society. And I think there's a couple of people that might be scared about joining it or whatever, I'm not sure, but honestly, fashion students are not scary. But I just think if you want to get the most out of it, join the fashion society, because yeah, you can put it on your CV, but also you can learn so much more. Like, I've learned so much from older years about the fashion, like my course, and just the fashion industry, and obviously everyone has like different skill sets of knowledge and different areas of knowledge about the industry. So, you know, someone might be really knowledgeable about something that you don't really know anything about, and then you talk to them, or, you know, they speak to the group about it, and yeah, it's just great. And they're kind of like the two things I would say. Obviously with the student rep thing, obviously only 2 students from each year can be a rep, so you've got obviously a smaller chance that, you know, you might not guaranteed to get that. But with the Fashion Society, like I say, if you are doing marketing, definitely join it. And I just hope that we can have really good socials as well, because I'll be so upset if everything gets cancelled. And I just need Boris to like find me a vaccine and get me back to uni in September, fresh and ready for the year. But I think I've pretty much covered everything. I don't know, people message me like, hi, could you give any advice for studying fashion marketing? I don't really know like what advice I can give. I've kind of said pretty much all I think people would want to know. I really enjoyed filming these videos, and I didn't think I would. Obviously, I've kind of covered everything that I need to, or everything that I can in terms of like university. I don't know if there's any like general university tips that people want, like I think it's hard because I was going to do like a Freshers Week one, but I don't even know if Freshers Week is going to be a thing, but I'm not going to jinx it, so I don't know. But I don't know, I might do something else, like I don't know, people would think like, oh, do a fashion video or a haul, but like my fashion's really not that interesting, to be honest. So I don't know if there's anything that anyone wants to see for me to do more, because I don't want to be like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not doing this because I'm like, I want to start a YouTube channel. I'm really not doing it like that. But I have quite enjoyed it, so maybe I will do that. I don't know, do a little Q&A or a little everyday makeup and hair tutorial. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I hope this helps. It's very like, I feel like this video was very choppy because I didn't really know what I was talking about. The other one I kind of thought about a little bit more, so I was a bit more like structured. But yeah, I'm really sorry if it didn't really make that much sense. I think my main kind of thing is just to, everyone's going to have a different experience, so just go if you think you're going to like it. I didn't really think I was going to like it like at Winchester that much. I thought, oh, there's so many other better courses at other universities, but I was wrong. I love it. I couldn't imagine a better university experience, and that goes in regards to my course, not just like socials and things like that. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now because I don't even know what I'm talking about. I also need a wee. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and maybe I'll see you again soon if I decide that I want to be a YouTube star. Bye.